Why did the old times feel so good? Why did the old times feel so comfortable and warm? Well, we, the generations that were born in the 80s, 19s, well, at most the early 20,000, well, the 2000s, well, these generations were somewhat unfortunate because they were amongst the last people who felt a certain ease of the older times and a harsh welcome into the new age of the truth. See, those who were born in the 90s got to feel a lot, quite a lot, of the old world of our parents, the old world of ignorance. It was not a world where everything felt so soft. It felt so good and so free because there was literally no responsibility. We were programmed since birth to be equally ignorant to our parents and lead a life where there was literally no responsibility. We were born since youth and taught that, well, our voice doesn't matter, our actions don't matter. Whatever matters is someone stronger than us must save us and do the things for us because we are programmed to think, just like our parents, that we are simply incapable of doing our things. Everything about us is bad and only someone else can save us. We were born and adapted to a world, or more like forced to live in a world where nobody cared about us. But we kept going on because we were children, because things and burdens did not scare us and did not matter much to us, especially in the Eastern European world, in the ex communist world, where people simply, well, lived their life. Children went on with their own lives, and we all, everywhere in the world, went on with our lives. And now, when we stepped into this world where we finally opened our eyes and made all the realizations that our parents most likely didn't even want us, they only gave us birth because that's how their natural programming worked. Where our ancestors didn't fight much for us, anyways, because look at the quality of the world. We lived in a world that felt so good because, well, it hid from us all its hideousness. A world where fuckers hidden behind shadows and anything that they could continuously maimed our life, experimented on us, and did their hideous things without us knowing, without us having any sort of difficulty in life, because all the difficulties were masked behind the mind. If you ever had a difficulty, you are programmed to simply overthink it, and it will hopefully solve itself on its own. And anything that actually would matter to us was only the times when we could socialize in between us as children, because the rest was nothing else but being a slave to the impulses of the adults. Live life the way they want it, be programmed to think the way they want. And when the system started crashing and we opened our eyes, we realized how much this world was burnt, how much this world was destroyed, how much this world was filled with impulses dressed in the skins of humans, with people who didn't care about us and the emotions that we had, because we have been born with way more emotion and connection towards the greater than our previous generations of people who only live their life like impulses, like rats in a maze, doing nothing and embracing that which someone else tells them, while not doing anything for themselves, and then wondering why they simply suck in their life, why they are incapable, while also most are not capable of even observing those. We live in a world where most people don't even care about themselves. Their only passion is to see you grow, to see you live the same miserable life as them, to see you get married with the wrong person, invite the wrong person in your life, and have a horrible life with them, while they can simply sit aside and embrace your pain as if it were as if it were their salvation. We were born in a world where the conflicts of the compulsions of our ancestors, our parents, our grandparents, simply came into contrast with a world where fewer and fewer heroes existed, and where some of them, actually paid with their life, just like in some of the cartoons that we used to watch, where everything in our life was told through cartoons and through all sorts of remote options like these, and only whoever could comprehend those would carry the message forward. The others would just drown in the misery and the comfort of the others. We lived in a world where the comfort of our parents simply crumbled the future that we could have had. We live in a world where the parents, most of them, don't simply bother fighting for their children unless they have to do it from behind the phones, from behind the keyboard of their PCs or their phones, where they are the greatest warriors. But deep down inside, they have given up. They have given up even the chase to live. They have given up the hope to live. They have given up their inner child and everything possible. And some of them even prey upon us, the new ones. We live in a world where sick parents give birth to their children just so that they put their burdens and extra burdens upon them, where those sick parents live their life only to constantly uh, create even more drama in their mind and then put it on the backs of others. We live in a world where everywhere we go, we just meet compulsions dressed in human skin. We just meet idiots who don't care about themselves, but they would gladly make a habit, even a job, out of doing you harm and keeping you in harm. We live in a world where those fuckers are actually even uh, godified by society and even given so-called extra rights. We were born in a society where everything natural is simply shunned away and replaced with artificial thoughts, artificial ideas, and imaginations of the dark, twisted minds that want to simply change everything that is pure about humanity into whatever would fit their hideous agendas. We are born in a world where people simply give up on everything just for the sake of their stupid comfort. We live in the same world of the comfortable generations of hundreds, even thousands of years ago, where people would drown in their comfort and not care about anything, and then wonder why they slowly die and they wither even faster. Nowadays, people don't even wonder about that because they're not even capable of comprehending that. We live in a world where the feminine has become so fucked up, where women have become only walking zombies, predators about people who would give them attention, predators that have expectations, harsh expectations that people would serve them or would give them attention or would save them from the misery in which they pretend to be. They are in a deep misery, but they only pretend or show it just so that they can draw you in and also drown you in their misery. And after they leave yet another filled coffin with an unfortunate soul who tried to fill the void in them, well, they will simply go on trying to fetch their new victim. Their next victim is the only priority that they have in life. We live in a world where men simply no longer feel important in society because society takes everything from you but doesn't give anything back. We live in a sick society where our parents were incapable of realizing the harshness, the truths where we live, where we have been living, that others always plotted against us and we were always nothing else but cattle, but batteries, still allowing a sick system to function until it would perish. We were born in a world where nobody would care about us. We were born in a world where we were told that there are secret heroes about us, that there are sciences about such heroes. And in the end, the few who wake up realize that they are the only heroes that they would wait for. And everyone else is just drowning in this miserable quicksand that some kind of mysterious being from beyond the veil of the skies will come and save you. You are your own savior. Everyone who lived their life, they lived their life and then they simply passed away because it is the purpose of all physical bodies. You experience through them. Nature gives them to you for free, but they don't last forever, so you give them back to nature with no interest. The only thing you take from this world is the karma that you've built up, and then you go on and try to find a new physical body. We live in a world where women became so horrible in quality of their body, in entertaining the twisted thoughts of their mind, the drama in their mind, the issues that they have become stuck because of overthinking. And these gave birth not to children, gave birth more like to compulsions, to weak humans, to weak children, which they made even worse monsters than they were. We live in a society where As I said initially, if you want to make a sick society, make men's life as worse as possible and women's life as comfortable as possible. Because women in comfort, they live in the greatest poison, they become a poison. Because the woman is nothing else but an amplifier of what she is trained to do. If she is trained to be nourishing, she will become more nourishing. If she is trained to be generous, she will become more generous. If she is trained to be wise, she will elevate. But it is important to be made in such a way that she becomes extra comfortable. Where when she becomes comfortable, she forgets what being a woman is. She forgets about her chores. She forgets about everything. Suddenly she's miserable because nobody wants her anymore. Because nobody wants a useless woman. Nobody wants a woman who cannot be loving. And they become putrid, they become hateful, they become predators seeking to destroy everything, because in the end they become consumed by that which is around them, a world no longer elevated by the feminine. We have been born in a world that lived its last breath in the so-called wonderland of the old times, the wonderland of misery, the wonderland of pain disguised as happiness, as having more materialistic things equating your happiness. And then it was also your downfall, your misery, because you would constantly think getting more material things would lead you to a better future, would lead you to being more happy. But you were also programmed at the same time to look at everyone else buying things, and there was always some someone else actually who had more than you, who owned more than you, and who pretended he was happier than you. And then you would yet again start thinking that there is something wrong about you and live the same pains and curses of your older generations. Waste your time, your whole life thinking that there's something wrong about you when there was a whole crowd of people in line waiting to do that thing specifically for you for free. You didn't ever have to waste any minute of your time, of your life, to say that there's something wrong about you, because there were always people, and there will always be people who will do that for free for you. There will always be people who will pull you down for free because it is the only thing they know. Those are compulsions into human skin. They are not humans. They are underleveled characters that were given birth in a human body because of sick women, because of women whose quality, whose bodily quality equates that of demons, that of something even lower than that. So, based on their quality, they will bring some kind of whatever fucked up forms of life that are too primitive for a human body, and that will always service a sick society well, because a low quality of life cannot be elevated. You try everything you can, it can never be elevated. You will not elevate a serial killer. You will not elevate the so-called politicians that we have, most of them being nothing else than the compulsions that I have been telling you. You have been taught that the police will save you, that the government will save you, and then when you woke up and opened those beautiful eyes of yours, you finally started to see through the riddles, through the hums of the sick society, speaking you in voices that others could not understand, speaking you to run away from it, like a predator seeking its prey, but at the same time being merciful enough to try to save you. And it would hunt down those who would simply refuse its voice. Because slowly and surely, our generation realized that television is not a form of entertainment. It is a form of assault on your mind that tells you a vision. We realize that the governmental work is not something made to protect you or to care for you. It is a governmental work meant to govern your mind and therefore your reality, making people and children, especially since youth, to perceive the world that they are born with all its flaws, and especially with all its flaws, as the greatest comfort that they can have. And sooner or later, things will be snatched from you. Rights, even properties, things that you owned, things that you could once have, no longer become available as the sick world closes in and entombs everyone who's still willing to live in it. The house is on fire and most people simply don't care. They simply want to embrace it because it is the only comfort zone they know. It is the only thing that they know. It is the only script that they can follow. Because other than that, there is only fear. Those are just compulsions of survival, not humans. They are just, call them whatever. It's just a thought of survival within those people. All they would do is just survive. They would sell their uh, the memory of their ancestors. They would sell the future of their children. They would sell anyone, everyone, if they could, just to survive. Their only point is to just serve. Their only priority is to hear someone else and to serve. The ones who are wiser among these compulsions of humans, right? These compulsions, not humans. These demons, if you want to call them, those who are wiser among those have only one greater purpose, that to destroy everything that others keep holy, that others keep dear to themselves, so that everyone lives in a world 1,000 times more miserable than them. Because these compulsions know no emotion, they only know pain, they only know suffering, and that is what they seek to impose each and every day upon others. We live in a world where all the heroes that are shown to us on television, they are just paid actors. We live in a sick society where all the politicians that are shown, they are nothing else but puppets of a greater string of elements that lives somewhere in the darkness, hiding itself, trying to control your life for reasons they don't understand either, because they are just compulsions. They don't know why they are doing things. They don't even have conscience or things like that. They are just a compulsion. Just like when you want to smoke, you're obsessed with that thing. Those people are equally that. They don't have the breaks to tell them from time to time, stop doing that. They only have another compulsion telling, why haven't you done even more? And we woke up in this world thinking, what is going on, and why are we the ones suddenly who have to fix all these fucking holes that our ancestors were incapable of. We were born in a world where the whole karma of our ancestors simply broke our backs too early in life, and we became the heroes we never had in our lives. Some of them simply fell back into the so-called crawling mechanism, the last days of the decadent machine that has been, well, propelling that which we call humanity forward. Nowadays, we just find ourselves surrounded by robots, by compulsions, by everything that is not human, that doesn't want to be human, that shows whatever is human is bad, because everything in nature is good, but obviously has to be seen in a bad way, because everything has to be destroyed, from forests, from your sacred air, to your water, to your health, to the entire elements that actually represent your physical body. Because pain and disease must be the only way that you live your life, because that is the only thing that they can perceive in life. And they don't have any consciousness. They don't have any asking, is it good that we are doing this? They will simply keep doing that, and they will keep becoming better at doing that. And slowly and surely we all realize that we kind of have to wake up in this world. And somehow we realize that the system never wants us, that we are nothing else but numbers, but cattle, but something to be destroyed, something to be killed for the sake and for the joy of some of those fuckers that lack any emotion. And then in the end, we are taught through fake heroes that we have to fight the system. But the question that burns each and every one of us, fight the system alongside whom? Those who simply say that they want to be heroes, but they all do the same thing, that of drowning in the same quicksands of the same so-called system. Hopefully this video raised a bit of awareness, and well, this being said, Ferenc Jan Board signing out.